Hello sports fans, Shalthis here. Time for another episode of ShoutStone here on YouTube. I wanted to bring you a little 2v2 game that I thought I would do something a little different with. I want to shoutcast it, but I also want to do a little bit of an analytical breakdown. So this won't be quite as heavily edited as some of my other shoutcasts are. Instead, I really just want to show you the game and then break down some of the key moments a little bit. So that's really the gist of it. Let's hop into the action right now. So here we are. Game underway, 2v2, featuring a buddy of mine, Dirkened, who is the fan ambassador for Psyonix. And already, early goal. Nothing really to analyze there, just a little bit of a defensive breakdown. Missed the clear, and it got punched in by his opponent. So Dirty and Dirkened taking on Panic and Smalls. Now here, this is going to be something interesting. I do know what's coming here, so let's take a look at this attempt. In fact, we'll put it up to 25%. So Dirty comes up with this gentle touch, floats it toward the goal, and he tries to come in here. Now I want you to take a look at this. He's going to try and come in from the side here to what I think get either a little more direct hit on it to fire it into the net, or he's going to try and do a bit of a redirect, because right now it's just kind of floating in straight. So if he comes in at the right angle, he could hit it and direct it into one of the sides of the net, but he doesn't quite make contact. So Panic's able to get right there and make contact and clear it out with a shot off of the post. Now Dirkened is going to come up from behind and try to follow through with this here, but he gets a little too far under it and sends the ball soaring up high. So that's going to put it into the corner, and he can't quite make contact with it there. Another attempt to put it on goal is blocked by Smalls. So you can see, you know, when you're playing 2v2, you kind of have to really evaluate your strategy a little bit and decide who's going to do what and when you're going to sacrifice defense for a solid offensive opportunity. You know, like right now, gate's wide open, but the ball gets shot in the air. Dirkened with a good solid aerial sends it to the corner. Dirty follows up, tries to put it in front of the net. Good setup here. Everybody takes to the sky, and it's cleared away pretty safely. Let's take another look at this clear one more time. So I'm going to pause it right at this point. You can see we've got Panic coming up the wall. Smalls is coming in off the aerial. If we go down a little bit level here, Smalls, I mean, as it stands right now, Dirty's not in a very good spot to make contact on that, because he's going to be fighting gravity, basically, and trying to go straight up on it. You've got Dirkened, who's actually coming in from a pretty good angle. He might want to redirect a little bit, because if he comes in the way he's going, he's probably just going to collide with this side of the ball and send it off to the corner. But let's move it forward a little bit. In fact, let's slow it down a little bit and take a closer look. Let me get it nice and close here. So you've got Dirkened coming in, but Smalls is actually in a pretty good spot to stop something from happening. But as you can see, Dirkened's shifted his car a little bit to get a better angle on the aerial. So he makes that initial contact, but Smalls is right there, hits it with the front tire, gets the clear. So let's go a little bit faster, not full speed quite yet, just as we get the clear here, and we'll go back up to 100% actually. So you can see pretty solid defensive positioning by the teams, making sure that the aerial is, you know, not only right in front of the ball, but also in a good spot to deflect it out. So here, now we're going to see a little bit of an offensive chance. Right here, let's bounce back just a little bit. I want to follow this opportunity up a little bit more, because what we're going to see here is we've got a bit of the setup. Dirkened comes in. He hits the ground before he can make a little more contact on the ball, but it looks like we're trying to get something set up here. The ball comes in pretty hard, so it's going to hit the wall with a little bit of force and come off of it kind of hard too. So right now, they need to be able to make a play on this, but they're a little bit out of position. Let's go back up to 50 so we can launch this through. Actually, we're back to full speed. But as you can see, you know, tried to get in front of it, couldn't really make it happen. Smalls gets the clear. Dirty has to fall back. So now the orange team is a little bit back on offense here. So a good float into the corner. Nobody there to really make a play on it. Dirkened gets the clear. sends it a little bit back down. So, bit of a fight over the ball here, but really good defensive positioning. Let's take another look at this stop here, because this is something that a lot of players really need to focus on, is stopping things kind of along the side. So you can see here, Dirkened is going to make a play to kind of come at this ball. Come on. Let's go back. So, Smalls makes some initial contact to put it in the corner. Dirkened gets a good stop coming off here. He's going to hit that back up onto his side and get that rear contact to stop Smalls from being able to make an attack. So here he goes, tries to get the clear, but you can see Panic gets a good position on that to actually stop the clear attempt. Second time, Dirkened doesn't make any contact. Panic sets up the center, but again, another clear attempt is blocked. Here we go. Dirkened finally gets it over Panic. Now Dursty has to try to fight for it. They're doing a great job of keeping the ball in the offensive side. Nice goaltending there. Gets the ball out of harm's way. Oh, this is going to be nice. You can see it's clearly a goal. So let's bounce back a little bit, and we see the clear coming off. So let's drop it down a bit. You can see Dirken's going to come hard off the wall here. He's in a good spot. Smalls is coming in a little too slowly to make any kind of play on it. And now we've got to look at the last option for defense, and that is going to be Panic. So if we come down to Panic's level, he's got a pretty good, window here, because from this angle, the goal is much smaller. Let's look at it from the ball's perspective. That's the size of the goal, and that's a lot narrower than, that. So let's play it forward a little bit. All right, he comes up, but he comes up a little too shy, so he doesn't get the right angle on it, and that is a very easy goal for Dirkened to tie the game up. So back to kickoff. Let's watch this through again. All right, Smalls gets the hit, but sets it up in a good position for the blue team. Good clear here, but it's going to just miss the goal. Something like that. Usually it's a clear. You don't really treat that as a shot. Like if we go back, let's bounce back a little bit to when this move happens. So it comes hard off the wall. I'm going to take a step back and up high here. So you can see the ball gets sent up. They're not really fighting too hard to actually put it in the net. You can see Panic breaks off because he knows blue team's probably going to get to it first. This is a pretty good center, and Dursty gets right ahead of it to stop the attack there. But now you see they're constantly playing it open. Now, let's look at this setup here. Because you're doing 2v2, you don't have a third person to kind of rely on defense or on offense, and you kind of have to rotate responsibility for both roles between the two players on the team. So you can see that Dursty's moving out of goal to try to make a play on the ball. At that point, Dirkened moves straight into net to be there in case any kind of plays happen. He moves up, gets the clear. Dursty falls back into goal. That constant ability to rotate in your position is key, whether you're playing 2v2, 3v3, heck, even 4v4, honestly. I know 4v4 is typically not a competitive mode. It's usually just for fun because of the utter insanity of it. But it all really applies, Good kind of wall clear there to set things up. Dursty comes in a little high, but he waits for the setup from Dirkened. Nobody quite there, but he got the right angle on it. Let's take another look at this one. So we're going to see something. This is something I really want to talk about, is playing the corner. Now, if you look at the corner, let's take it as high as a shot of it that we can get. Ignore the... here, we'll pass underneath the honeycomb. So this is the corner. As you can see, not perfectly round. It's got a rounded edge here, then a flat, then another rounded edge. The ball can act in really weird ways, very dynamically, when it's coming into the corner. So let's see where it hits. Alright, so it's going to actually hit in a good spot to come off at a 90-degree angle. Because that's basically the approach it took, and you can see it does just that. But it's coming in at a little bit of an angle. So you've got that ever so slight turn to it. And if I come in, you can see the goal pretty much wide open because that's a hard angle to play. So let's bounce back a little bit. Let's go full speed and just try to catch the stop so we can watch this one more time. Hits the pressure, puts it up there. It passes by the final part of the wall, but still doesn't make contact, which is key for it to be able to kind of make that slight turn in. I think they just kind of overestimated where that ball was going to go. Didn't realize it was going to actually make that sort of contact. Because that's basically the harshest of the angles to actually play. So now clear up 2-1. Smalls tries to put it up high. Doesn't have anybody there to respond to it. But again, the offensive opportunities are coming. Dursty, that was a little bit of a rough approach. Might have, you know, potentially put it in his own net if he came in a little earlier. So I'm not doing a lot of edits here because we're doing so many stops, but a good defensive play there. Both players kind of moving in themselves. Now here we go. You can see that they kind of came out of the position a little bit, so Dirkened had to move in, and he quickly falls back into goal. Nobody able to make a play on it. Dursty finally gets underneath it to clear it out, but Dirken's going to fall back because he knows that that ball is not completely clear. So right now, very difficult spot. Dursty snuck way up to try to steal the opponent's boost, which is a pretty good strategy, but it's hard to do in a 2v2 when the ball is on the defensive side. You know, unless you're getting that ball cleared out and there is, you know, a big gap left open, pretty straightforward goal. There you have it. So, not a whole lot to speak to there. Next kickoff, 44 seconds left. Good aerial kind of coming off the corner. Tries to put it on. Dirkened can't get on it. Oh, that ball just gets squeezed there. Nearly put in there. Let's bounce back a little bit because I want to see this this attack one more time. So, off the wall, it's coming in with a lot of speed. So the problem is when it's set up like that, it's obviously going to hit the rounded corner, possibly bounce off of this part of the wall, which it does. Okay, so it comes off the wall. Let's get down a little closer here. It's going to come in, and it's got just a really tight angle. It's not tight enough to actually go in, so it's going to need some additional impact. So let's flip around in the goal here, because this is where everybody kind of collides. So you can see Dursty is right inside the goal, trying to make the stop there. Dirkened gets a good angle on it. It's enough to keep it out of play. Very close, though. Alright, so now the attack is going. Dursty comes up, puts pressure on it, but it is stopped by Panic. Dirkened plays it to the corner again, a good center. He likes playing those really tight angles, but there's Dursty to try to put it in there. Dirkened has to come back up, but the ball's going to fall back into play. You can see we've got Dursty who's quickly getting back into goal to try to stop the attack. Another good aerial setup, but it looks like we're probably headed to overtime here, and indeed we are. So here we go, 2-2 overtime in this 2v2 matchup. Good little burst out of center. Dirkened tries to do a bit of an aerial to at least make a centered play, while Dursty falls back to kind of protect the net. Oh, this is a bad setup. Everybody is right where they want it to be. They get an amazing clear. So many opportunities coming, but so many stops. A lot of this is just really fortunate positioning. Let's take a bounce back a little bit and just see how this positioning plays off for this blue team. So I'm going to fall into the goal here so we can watch this really closely. Let's go to 25% and see here. So Smalls gets the first attack here. Both Dirkened and Dursty get up to try to make contact on it. Dirken's a little late, but Dursty gets that touch to knock it out at the last possible moment. Now we fall back. Another opportunity is going to come up. There's Dursty again. Misses that, however, but the angle is so severe that Dirkened can get right on it and clear it out. He came at it from a really hard angle, too. You know, if we bounce back, we can see that, you know, he has to come at this from such a tight angle because he's knocked so far out of position. So he has to cut it tight, swing in, and still get that back touch. And that's going to allow him to get it out there. Dursty's going to knock it into the wall to try to get the clear out. And they are actually able to stop that offensive attack. Oh, and look at that beautiful touch. But still, now the attack is coming onto the orange side, but not quite as severe as it was on the opposing end of the field. So again, the rotating defense. Dursty falling back. Goes up to make the play. Dirkened immediately swings all the way back to kind of be his backup, basically. Now the offense is set up. Smalls with a great stop there. Great clear out of play to prevent what was almost going to be a definite goal. So Dirkened moves up to clear it out. Dursty falls back. Another clear back upfield. Not quite at the right angle that they need to make a play on it, but it looks like he's got a solid aerial there. Unfortunately, he gets a bad angle. Can't actually do anything with that. Another floater. That's in a pretty good spot. It looked like Smalls. Let's take a quick look at this play, just to kind of watch the positioning. Now you can see that the ball's coming in clearly off target. It looks like Smalls comes in, tries to slow down a bit and get hit it from the back, but he can't actually make contact. Timing's a little bit off. Now Dirkened clears it up the side of the field. Tries to get the setup. Dursty not there to actually make the play on it before defense can clear it out. Dirkened kind of volleys it off of his head, but oh, very tight. Nearly a goal at that point. Smalls comes in off the aerial. That could be enough, and Dirkened can't get the right angle on it. Let's watch one more time what happens here. So these shots are very difficult to get in front of, and I'll show you why. So watch Smalls put it. He doesn't hit it with a ton of force. So it comes in hard off the ground, and it gets a big bounce. Now Dirkened, he's in a good spot for it. He tries to get up, but he just can't. He makes contact in the wrong direction, and just puts it. It looks like he puts it away on his own net, but to be perfectly honest, he just puts it away. But there you have it. So, quick little look at a 2v2 there. 3-2 ends for the orange team. Thank you very much to Dirkened for sending me that replay. Just wanted to give you a little bit of a breakdown of what 2v2s look like if you've mostly seen the competitive 3v3 scene. Because it can get really easy to see how players react in a 3v3 environment when they have that third party to kind of rely on. But in this, it gets much more complicated. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode of ShoutStone. I will be back for more some point soon. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.